Hi, hello, welcome back. My name is Devraj and welcome back to this series on bioenergetics. Today I wanted to answer a question because I get some great questions, and I had a great question the other day from a guy who Facebook messaged me about the relationship between bioenergetics and emotional expression. And what he's asking essentially, is it enough just to do bioenergetics? Surely you must have to do some real release as well in order to heal. You need to do Osho Dynamic or the Humaniversity Om, or go and really put yourself in a space where you can scream and cry and get into the rage and all of that. And so I think this is a question that I hear quite a lot in one form or another. Is it enough to do bioenergetics? And I wanted to let's go into a little bit of theory to try and answer that question, because it's a great question. The first thing to understand is about how bioenergetics works, or even maybe one step back from there, essentially, which is the underlying issue. Whenever anyone comes for therapy, whenever anyone wants to change their life, when they want to step up more, the underlying issue is the same. The underlying issue is the repression of emotion, the repression of natural emotion. It's the same in psychotherapy. The underlying issue is the same. It's the same. And repression happens because of trauma in early life, when our brain simply represses feelings back into the muscle system of the body, or because of conditioning, where we allow ourselves, in order to try and mold ourselves into a certain kind of person, to shut ourselves off from part of our natural emotionality. And the arena where repression really takes place, or rather where it is stored, is in the body, in the muscle system of the body. And so with bioenergetics, what you're doing is you're opening the muscle system of the body. You're putting your body under controlled stress through the positions that you put your body in, and then you're breathing and you're feeling what's going on inside. And slowly over time, the muscles open. Now, if say you've been repressing a lot of anger and a lot of pain, which are the kind of cornerstone emotions, the basic emotions, survival emotions that we need to survive, and you're doing a lot of bioenergetics, do you then need to really go into the anger and scream it out? Do you need to go into the pain and put it out? Well, the answer in reality is no. In reality is no. If you can go into those feelings, it's great. If you have the option to go and do dynamic meditation, if you have the option to go and do the Humaniversity Om meditation, great process going on in some cities. If you have the option to go to a real emotional expression workshop, like the kind of workshops I'm running half the time, those things are absolutely great. But you do not necessarily have to do that. That will support you and take you deeper. But the underlying effect that bioenergetics will have over time is to take away the fear around expressing feelings. It'll start to take away the fear around anger. It'll start to take away the fear around emotional pain. Because when you haven't expressed, when you haven't felt and you haven't expressed an emotion for a long period of time, and this is normal with the extremes of anger and pain, most people don't really go there and haven't gone there for a while. I have clients who haven't cried in a decade. When I started to do therapy, I hadn't cried for like 10, 15 years, I hadn't really been angry, I was angry and pissed off and a bit aggressive, but I hadn't really raged, like full expression of anger out for a decade, at least probably longer, when I first started doing groups. And so because of that, a natural layer of fear accrues around the emotion. So you can imagine, if you imagine it kind of energetically, somewhere in your muscle system, there is anger held, it's held in a tense block, or there's a wounding, there's immense emotional pain held inside the system. And around that pain, around that anger, accrues a layer of fear. We're scared to go there. And what bioenergetics will start to do is take away the fear. It'll start to take away the fear. So that when you're in a situation, it actually feels more okay to be angry. It actually feels more okay to be vulnerable, to be in pain. You no longer kind of get this red light going on when you're in a social situation and you're starting to feel vulnerable. It's like, initially for me, I was like, okay, red light is going on. I'm doing something to close myself off, often without even being aware of it. I'm doing something to close myself off. And nowadays, I don't need to do that. I've still got a basic thing where I can protect myself if I need to. If someone's really like projecting negativity into me, I can set up a healthy boundary, either energetically or with words or whatever, but I don't need to just mindlessly protect myself from any possibility around vulnerability. And the same with anger. The same with anger. I don't need to, it's not that I have to fly into a rage every time anyone is kind of invading my space, physically or mentally, emotionally. But, I have the option, and I'm not afraid to go there. I'm not afraid to go there. But I have and of course I did do a lot of emotional expression as well. But what I'm trying to convey is that it is not that you have to do emotional expression. It is great if you can do emotional expression. This weekend I'm running a workshop, Project Man. We'll be doing a load of emotional expression. It's great to do emotional expression, but it is a bit harder to find these kind of workshops out in the world. Not many people have really trained in it. If you go and do a basic psychotherapy degree, they don't teach you how to, go fully into anger. It's not part of the course. So there's very little therapy out there, and very few therapist trainings you can do where you actually learn to really go into your own emotions and how to hold the space for other people to do it. So the real answer to the question is, it's great if you can go and do some emotional expression in a safely held environment, but if you can't, you can still get there with the bio. You can still get there. You just keep going with it. These days I'm doing bio every day for like an hour. I've stepped up a little bit more, and it moves so much stuff. If you're interested in anger, you've got to get the throat open and the belly open. It's a channel between the two. And when you feel this natural energy, you're no longer suppressing your energy through fear of anger. And with emotional pain, it's more around the heart center here. Lean up a little bit. When you start to get open here, which means you actually open between the shoulder blades, then you feel more openness. You feel more okay to be vulnerable. You just feel okay with it. You still got the protection there if you need it. So hopefully this answers the question surrounding the relationship between bioenergetics and emotional expression. The bottom line is, it's great if you can go out and do some expression. It'll totally support you. But if you can't, you can still do a lot of work with bioenergetics. And the reality with bio is, yes, sometimes people go into the feelings that they're suppressing, and sometimes it's just more openness comes in the body. And there's more energy flow, there's more energy available. It's hard to predict. Some psychologists do not like this. They don't like that, they want that everyone has to feel everything. And, the simple truth is that your body may open without you hurling a lot of tears out and crying your guts out or getting into rage. It may open without it. It may be that you do rage and stuff, but the end result will be that you feel more okay in social settings or when triggered to go into the feelings. And I'll just close by explaining a little bit about psychological health, because essentially, a way to define psychological health is that you feel really okay to both feel and to express core survival emotions of anger and pain, emotional pain. It's a way of monitoring whether someone's essentially emotionally healthy. And there's a third one which we'll get to in a sec, but if you feel okay to feel emotional pain and you feel okay to express it, to talk about it, to share it, and to really let people see you in emotional pain, that's one pole of emotional health. The second one is anger. If you feel okay to feel anger, to be triggered and feel anger and to show it, and to express it, it's another pole of psychological health. The third surrounds love, the capacity to receive love, to take in love. Once you can do all three of those, you'll be psychologically healthy, basically. It's not like nothing bad will ever happen to you, but the reality is, when stuff happens that's triggering you a lot, or you're really being thrown, you won't be in avoidance. You'll be able to reach out and get any support you need, and your life will expand a lot. Okay, so hopefully I've covered this question. And thank you very much to the chap who wrote in and put it out, because I think he really, kind of synthesized or brought together what a lot of people have been asking me sometimes over the years about bioenergetics and emotional expression, because I teach both. Check out my workshops. Also, I'll be, in a couple of months' time, sometime around December, I should hope to be launching the Bioenergetics Online Training Academy, basically, which will be an online platform where you can pay a monthly subscription and you can learn bio, and it's got all sorts of exciting video and written and interactive modules. Okay, speak to you later, guys. Keep doing bioenergetics. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Don't listen to what bullshit your mind comes up with. Just keep doing it.